Hey everyone, welcome back to Fast Charging with BnB. I am Bear,
And I'm Brian.
and we are back with some EV news and some EV stories for you guys. And we got an interesting episode today. So, what do you got, Brian? You got anything?
Uh, a rash, I think.
A rash? Oh, you
No.
know what? I know how to take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I had to fix the screen first. Apparently, that rash made your video image go in the wrong place. Okay,
Hmm.
so first you need two ducks, some sandpaper, a grapefruit, and oh god, what was the last thing? I don't remember what the last thing is, but can you get those items?
Yes. Yes. I think the last item is Neosporin.
No, no, no.
Really?
It's a,
Huh.
it's a duck, some sandpaper, and a grapefruit.
Hmm.
I'll have to
Yeah.
go over that with you later, maybe
I
when
don't.
we're,
I,
we're
I
when we're
don't know
not
what
on
the
a
genesis of that joke was.
Urban Dictionary.
Speaking of Genesis,
Nice segue. That was that was awesome.
thank you, thank you. 2023 Genesis electrified G80 bridges the EV gap.
Yeah, they've got their new car coming out really, really soon. And it's a heavy one at over 5,000 pounds. Uh,
Because it's a gas car that they just electrified.
that is true. They did not build an all new platform for this, they just kind of converted what they needed to. But apparently, they did put in some weight savings on different components so that they can not be as heavy as they would have been. And they changed some things to aluminum and carbon fiber, and they were able to save another 600 pounds. But had that been based off of an actual new design, they probably would have been even lighter than that.
For sure. It would have to be. The Genesis is a great car. Not super jazzed about the interior, but I get it. It's a older styling, at least in the back. I don't know.
I kind of
And
like. Well, I like it. I
and
like that. I like that older style.
and
Um,
normally I would say with a 71,595, yeah, that would just be the gas version. It'll be more than that. But even still, they're estimating the price at 75,000. A year ago I'd have said that's insanely expensive, but
yeah,
how much is a Performance Y now with
six,
custom paint?
$66,000, 67 9, I think.
Too much, man.
Yeah,
It's too much.
it's really kind of frightful. I was actually, my wife told me last week. She goes, "You need to order a Model 3." I was like, "Well, no. If we're going to order something, we should order a Model Y." And we go back and forth, and we never like finish the discussion. And then they raised the price, but it
Hmm.
was horrible.
Any other exciting new cars on the horizon?
Well, I wouldn't call them exciting, but Sony and Honda have something coming out in uh, 3 years. So I guess they're officially going to partner up and put out a release of something. Um, what do you think of these two cars? I mean, they're obviously concepts because they wouldn't be 3 years out if they actually had these cars. What do you think?
I don't, in terms of the look, they're fine. They're not particularly inspired, even as prototypes. Um, Honda can build whatever they want when they put their actual engineering muscle behind it. But I haven't cared for Hondas for quite a while now. And
Yeah,
these are, except for the fact that they stole some of the front end from the Taycan, these are not super exciting to me.
yeah, and those wheels on that thing on the left are kind of hideous. But that's just personal opinion. So, yeah,
Mhm.
so 50-50 joint venture, and couple more years. Apparently, you see, when on this relationship, I always wondered really what Sony is bringing to the table, and
Right?
they say that they're bringing a lot. That you know, the infotainment and the mobility development, but I'm not sure why Honda couldn't do that in the past, because they had all these things in other cars.
Right. I have not heard that Sony is developing batteries, which would be great if they were. I haven't heard that, they're not especially known for their software. So what's left? Infotainment.
Yeah. Yeah, Sony will provide its expertise in the development and application of imaging, sensing, telecommunication, network, and entertainment technologies. That just... you would think Honda would have already excelled in something like that. So, I don't know. Maybe they just want to share the costs.
Digital Blade Canada came up with 3 wonderful suggestions on what that company's joint venture should be called. Sonanda, Sonda, or Honey.
How about Shonda?
How about Honey? That sounds
Nice.
sticky.
Honey. Sounds sticky. Yeah. Nice.
The problem is you can't trademark it.
Not honey.
No, the bees would rebel.
Oh, yeah. You know how they are.
Yeah.
When they get slighted, woo!
Slap an H on that box so you know it's full of hornets.
They will come after you.
A quick thank you to JJ for the $2 super chat, and also there's a $5 super chat I got from Casey before the show started. Thank you both. Welcome to this new world of monetization.
Yeah.
It only took 4 months and a half.
Red Rover. Hey, Red Rover, send Casey right over. Well,
that's how it works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It used to when I was smaller. But hey, guys, Brian is monetized. This is his first week, so you want to unload on him, go ahead. So.
Boy, that'd be terrible. Just terrible. Did you know that NIO has got their first ES7s in showrooms in China?
Yes, I have. I have seen that. They're actually doing fairly well. They have not been hit very hard on their stock price. They have been hit, but they have not taken the brunt of it as much as others. They are still producing cars, even with that strange battery swap thing that they do.
They got to get rid of that. If you've seen the video of it, I put it up on one of my videos a while back. It is so overly complicated. It's just a nightmare. And then you've got all those extra batteries just sitting around. And like you were saying, do you really want someone else's battery full of someone else's bad habits?
Yeah, because nobody wants my battery for my Model Y, which is less than a year and a half old and has already gotten more than 20% battery degradation, because probably the way I drive, probably. I take full responsibility for it, but at the same time, that would suck if you got my battery. It really would.
Right. So what do you think of this NIO? I first of all, I would agree with you that they are hustling. They are getting it done. And others should take note.
Yes, they are. And in fairness, I do own some stock of NIO, so I just want to be completely transparent on that.
And the price is not bad. $69,700.
Yeah. I don't know. It's expensive. It's comparable to a Model Y, but I think so is the size. And what's the range on this guy?
I don't know if it says. Does the range count as the braking distance?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They are.
I don't know.
They are planning on, I think, on their ES8 to have a long-range version of that that's supposed to go like 1,000 kilometers. So it's going to be over 600 miles. So if they can actually do that,
those when they happen.
Yeah. Yep. So talking about things that may or may not happen, have you seen the new Toyota Cruiser?
It looks like it's made out of dollar store Lego.
It looks like it's a cartoon drawing.
And it looks like it's a minion that is also a transformer.
I think picture number 3 makes me want to eat my own vomit. Those wheels on there are... I don't know. that is literally the wheels off of a toy.
A Lego.
Yeah.
Those are Lego wheels.
Yeah. And they ran out of blue bricks on their Legos, so they put in that peach looking thing in the back.
That's how hey, we've all been there.
Yeah. Now some of the other pictures look better. Like picture 4 doesn't look too bad.
Totally agree.
Of course, it's a concept; it's not real.
Right. It's a cheaply rendered concept.
Yeah, there was definitely something lacking on this rendering. So, I think this is probably something that's going to replace like the FJ.
Absolutely.
And I definitely think it could, but it's interesting. We'll see if it ever comes out. Cause
my buddy has one of the older, maybe 10 years old now, a green Fudge Cruiser, and he loves it.
Yeah,
he is not interested in selling it.
People who own them seem to love them. So, and I've never had one, so I would be interested in when something actually came out. Of course, what don't I get interested in? But it's probably
Chevy Bolt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. There you go. I actually considered. I started talking to my son about it. He goes, "No."
No.
What,
but they dropped the price. Because the demand was so high.
Yeah, they just brought it up. He's like, "No." He slapped me.
You want to know who else is losing money?
Oh, Ford, aren't they?
Yeah, they're now losing money on every Mach-E. And I think it was Lars from Best in Tesla pointed out that if they're now losing money after a small increase in supply costs, they were never making very much to begin with.
They do say that they were, though.
Right.
Yeah. And Bloomberg says that the Mach-E now costs $25,000 more to manufacture
than an equivalent Edge SUV.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's right before the white silverish picture.
So what do you think? What do you think that is? Is it supplies, or is there a problem on their production line where they can't get them out fast enough to actually? Because if your production rate is a tenth of producing an Edge, that's why it's costing you more. Because if you can only produce one car every 10 minutes as opposed to 60 cars in an hour, it's gonna cost you more. Just in labor right there.
I'm thinking it's the battery. I'm thinking it's all the parts, but I'm thinking it is most specifically the battery.
Yeah.
Because nickel's in tight supply, and companies not named Tesla use more nickel than they realistically need to or should.
Yeah, well, I'm interested. I would like when my Mach-E comes in that Ford sends me a note saying how much they lost on the vehicle. It would just make me feel better because I'd be like, oh, I got a deal. But,
and the problem with these cars, with the Ford losing money, with the Chevy Bolt certainly losing money, is you can't ramp when you lose money on every one. And if you're losing money on a Mach-E, the Lightning at $39,000 for the Pro Edition, you are just taking a bath because it's got twice the battery, twice the materials, twice the car.
Yeah, and the Mach-E is pretty much starting around 47, 45 to 47-ish.
It's a bargain.
Yeah, but you can't order any right now, and when they open up those order banks, I guarantee you there's going to be a price increase. And
there has to be.
Yeah. So
I do not support manufacturers losing money on every car they sell. It is not sustainable.
Well, how do they make money on cars? If they're
parts, service, and dealers who do all kinds of crazy things. Now, I don't remember. Have you ever mentioned how you feel about car dealers?
I don't think I have, but I want to share that with you guys with this story. And the story is actually a little bit old, but I hadn't seen it anywhere from any place except for this one page called gmtrucks.com. And this was Hummer number 210. And It's a quite fascinating story, and I'm going to summarize. The dealer involved in this, when the order E, the person who ordered Hummer number 210, came in to sign his contracts for his Hummer, they told him that he had to sign a right of refusal, first right of refusal, if he was to sell the vehicle within 24 months, that he would have to sell it to the dealership for MSRP. The buyer was frightened by this, and he said he needed to think about it. And when he came back the next day with more education on what was going on, because it did not seem right that the Hummer dealership should get this, they decided that they weren't going to sell it to him, and they posted it on the internet for sale. And this is something that he ordered. He waited a year and a half for, and they literally just swiped it from him. This is the what that contract was for. The first right of refusal is known as a poison pill, and the idea was to get him to go, I don't want this because I'm not doing that. That's not right. It's something put into a contract that's so horrible that you want to cancel the contract. And if he was to cancel the contract, then they could take that Hummer and then actually put the for sale sign on it, put it on the lot, and put a $100,000 markup on it and pocket all that money. So, in essence, any order that you place is not safe because the dealer can throw things on there that you're going to refuse. They will cancel your order on you and keep the vehicle and resell it for a much higher profit. Real bad, shady stuff. And what do you think, Brian?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And you were telling me before, there was in another article it mentioned that the man had joked about flipping the car, and because of that, they said, well, then we want in on it. And it's, no, you're in the business of selling me a car. It is none of your business what I do with it.
Yeah.
There are companies like Ferrari who do have the ability to take back your car, or at the very least blacklist you from ever buying another new one. But this is GM we're talking about. This is ridiculous, and they need to knock that off.
Well, maybe they feel like since they're the leaders in the EV market that they can do it.
Yeah. Their survival is tenuous at this point. If you would like to survive, you need to work on your image, and this ain't it.
Yeah, no, not at all. Now, there was resolution to this story, and the resolution was that the dealer got bombarded with people giving them negative reviews for their social media sites, and obviously this story came out. So they ended up selling the Hummer to the customer, but the customer also came out and publicly said, well, I made a joke and I shouldn't have done it. He's apologizing for this, and if you made a negative review, could you please take it down? So it seemed more like damage control, in order not to be in trouble with GM, because the GM, I believe, was not happy about this situation either. But dealers seem to have a free way, a way of just doing what they want. Besides selling the cars, they can screw you any way that they want. And that poison pill part really is unnerving, because can you imagine waiting a year, 2 years for a vehicle, and they put something in there that's so ridiculous, but they have the right to put it in based on their sales agreement with GM, that you can't possibly buy the vehicle under that circumstances, and they get to take it and make $100,000 on it. That's insane. And I can't believe this is still going on. But so this got me thinking also, well, maybe I should just go buy a Hummer myself. So I got myself on the waiting list for a Hummer.
He always waits until the show's going to tell me these things. I think to gauge my reaction. Yeah, why not? Why not? I don't know how far down the list you would be at this point.
Probably a year or two.
I would think so.
Yeah, I put in on the wait list for the 3, so it would be the tri-motor pickup version. So it easily could be a year from now, and I can always cancel it if my plans for the vehicle aren't working out. I can always back out of it. On that note, I also went on to, since we're talking about GM, I was interested in the Corvette, the Equinox EV, and the Blazer EV. So I put myself on just an update list for the Equinox and the Blazer, because the Blazer is supposed to be a $30,000 EV. It might get 50 miles of range, and if that's the case, we're going to make fun of it on the show together. But if it's something that's real, all right, I'll get myself on the waiting list, and I'll be number one ish on that list.
Right.
Corvette, someone from Chevy called me back, said, "Hey, thanks for your inquiry on the Chevy Corvette." I'm like, "Well, I know you have to place an order for this. What's the wait time?" He tells me it's 18 to 24 months for a Corvette. I'm like, that just doesn't even sound right, because, well, maybe they've sold out of 2023 models, but they haven't even taken orders for them yet. So I don't know how that works. And I said, are you guys charging anything additional? He goes, "Oh yeah, we're going to put a $10,000 markup on it for a car that I'm ordering for myself." I'm like, you know what? I'll go find myself a dealership that won't do that. Thanks. Bye-bye. So.
Yeah. Well, but that means you're probably not getting any cars, huh?
Not today. Not today. But I am getting a car, because the Polestar that I ordered, it was supposed to come in August. I got a call from Polestar today. And I put up a picture of that lovely color of the one that I'm getting. And I'm got to go to the bank tomorrow and finish the paperwork. And I might have that one by the end of the week, which is...
That would be super cool.
That'd be super cool, because I get to add that to my fleet. But that's not all. What do we have?
Wait, there's more?
But wait, there's more. Yes. So the Hyundai Ioniq that I ordered late last month was supposed to come in June 27th, then was pushed back to July 7th, suddenly showed up on the lot. So this is a picture of the Hyundai Ioniq 5 EV that gets 275 miles of range, or 250. I don't even know. But so we're gonna probably do a little review of the Polestar, maybe a little one of the Hyundai Ioniq, not Doug DeMuro style. I'm not that good. But maybe we'll drag race him in the secret spot that I know, and maybe even take the Model S and do the same thing with that. So
very fun stuff.
Yeah. So
I still have my Roadster.
Have you been driving that around?
I have not.
You should. You should take that out. It looks like fun.
I'm confident it is worth more than I paid for it.
I think that's probably right. You know what? When those Roadsters come out, I'm probably never going to be able to fit in those things, and it's very disappointing.
We shall see.
Not that I have $200,000 to spend on a car.
Yeah. So did you know that Tesla actually tops the list of most satisfied customers in the entire auto industry?
Well, that's pretty good. The cars are awesome. I love them, despite the fact that I've got other cars. But I really enjoy my Model Y when it's not in the body shop. But my Model 3 is great too. And the Model S, that's something special. I think that's what the S stands for. Special. And I don't mean that in a short bus kind of way. I mean that in a nice kind of way.
So it's not in this article, but at the bottom of the list was Mercedes.
But is this a list of 10? Or is
no, there is a whole list.
There is a whole list. Mercedes was at the bottom, huh? Wow.
That's what I saw on Lars's video on Best in Tesla. Or it was at or near the bottom. And the idea was that, just because you spend a lot of money doesn't mean you automatically love your car.
We've had one Mercedes, and it was nice. It was an E-Class, and it was a nice car. We did have a couple of issues that were covered under warranty that came up, which was not great. But my question for you is, where is, on the customer satisfaction ranking, do you know where the Model Y is and the Model S?
No, I don't. I saw a longer list, and I Should have grabbed it, and I apologize for that.
Damn it, Brian.
But Tesla does have a strategy to address this satisfaction score.
Yeah, there is a way to bring that down, isn't there?
There is, by significantly increasing its electric car prices across its lineup. Jeff is in the chat right now. Jeff, your price is locked in on your upcoming X. Is that correct? Let me know below.
That would be correct.
I'll get it from the expert.
Oh, you know what though? I know I've mentioned this before. When I ordered my Model Y, the price actually went down to $1,000, and Tesla gave me that $1,000. So,
Model 3 long range, $57,990. Model 3 performance, $62,990. You know, the Model S was $69,420 like a year and a half ago.
I think it might have been a little bit longer than that.
It was pre-refresh.
Yeah, it was pre-refresh. And I've thought about the fact that that car was $70,000, and that would have been great to get that. But then I also realized that there's a big difference between a 2022 that I got and the 2020 that they were offering at the sexual smoking pot position price.
The Model Y performance is now $69,990.
Yeah, and honestly, it's almost worth it to pay that difference in price. That Model Y long range, if you go with those upgraded rims, those wheels, it adds like $1,500 or $2,000 to the price, which you get with the Model Y performance.
Oh.
Meaning the price is only like $3,000 apart, and the difference in delivery time goes from long range is April of 2023 to July of 2023, and if you go to the performance, it's going to drop that down to next month.
Now, with these price increases, you know, when the 35 to 38,000 Model 3 was out, that didn't include enhanced autopilot, which today, it didn't include, didn't it not have something that is now standard in terms of autonomy?
I know enhanced autopilot was originally like $3,000 or $4,000. My Model 3 has it from 2018, and I two thumbs up. I like it, but I miss it in my Model Y. I wish I could have gotten it in my Model Y.
Just that. Jeff has enhanced autopilot. And Jeff, would you believe that interview we did in March is going to run in like 2 days? It's already scheduled. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, $138,990 for the Model X Plaid. Well,
they kept that the same price.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. They raised the long range another $5,000, which means since I ordered my Model S in February, the price has gone up $10,000. So, should I resell it? Does Tesla have a first right to refusal on it?
They do not. So Jeff's price is locked in, but his delivery has been pushed out to December. Jeff is a very patient man.
Well, Jeff needs to remember that my delivery was pushed out a couple of months also, and then it magically showed up 2 months early.
But that was also an S, and they might still be ironing out the kinks with the X.
There better not be any kinks.
So enhanced autopilot, great feature. Wish you could buy it separately, huh?
Yep. And you can.
Tesla needs to bring this
I thought we
back.
segued into that one already.
Oh, okay.
Well, you were talking about it.
I was talking about it. And you bring it back. FSD is too expensive, and it's not done. And even people buying it aren't getting the beta. Bring it back. Elon's response: okay.
Yeah, and is it actually going to come back?
Well, I believe so, because you'll get a big chunk of revenue you could realize before the end of the quarter. And unlike FSD revenue, you can recognize all of it. Enhanced autopilot is feature complete. It is something that you can actually count all the cash.
Yeah. You know, when they came out with the subscription for the full self-driving, I tried it for a month. And
I remember I was there.
Yes. And what you get is just enhanced autopilot.
Oh,
There is no additional features when you subscribe, or if you buy. If you buy the $12,000 FSD and you're not on the beta, you get EAP. That's the only difference, is you just paid $12,000 for it. And I think that's one of the reasons why they stopped offering EAP, was because it's the same thing.
right.
Exact.
And they wanted no money.
Yeah, they wanted more money, which is one of those things that makes me a little disappointed in Tesla, because the full self-driving $12,000 thing is not something I'm a big fan of. I would love to see full self-driving, but
But
why make people pay for
but I'm
it?
looking and I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
Did you know that driver assist systems in Teslas are less likely to crash than Waymo, Transdev, or GM Cruise, according to NHTSA?
I believe that. The other day I saw two Waymo vehicles, and I actually tried to drive them off the road to see what they would do. I know that's not recommended at home, but I wasn't at home, so.
So this article is actually pretty great. At the end, it explains that this, for some reason, NHTSA stripped out a lot of the relevant data. They decontextualized the published data about accidents, which leaves room for inexperienced or inattentive consumers to draw the wrong conclusion, and gives powers to unscrupulous media to easily mislead their readers, which I have absolutely been seeing on social media. They're saying Tesla's getting the most crashes.
So are you saying NHTSA fixed this so that it looked fair?
So that it looked less fair to Tesla.
Oh, okay, less fair.
They just said Teslas were involved in by far the most crashes, while leaving out the part that there's millions of them versus 600 Waymo vehicles and significantly fewer Cruise vehicles than that, I believe.
So they didn't do it per million miles or anything that would make sense.
And they have that data. They just haven't used it. And a lot of the other complaints I heard was, well, what Tesla does is right before a crash, it disengages so it doesn't count it. And if you disengage for any reason, the clock continues ticking for, I think, 10 more seconds.
Yes.
If after it's engaged, you're in control for 10 more seconds and you can't avoid an accident, that's on you, my friend.
That's a really long time. And when you get into an accident, you don't see an accident coming 10 seconds away. So
no, unless you're stuck at a light and a semi is rolling back towards you, which happened to me in Texas. I laid on the horn, I put it in reverse, I inched, and he woke up. So
it's good that he woke up.
I don't know. I couldn't see. It was he was hauling gravel, so he had the double trailers. I don't know if he could even hear me honking. I was so far away.
If he was an electric one, he probably would have been able to.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Safer.
So, yeah. Speaking of delivery vehicles, FedEx is actually getting deliveries of this bright little electric doojobby.
What is this, the Bright Drop or something?
Yeah. Which is GM, isn't it?
It sure is. Those wheels look like they came off of an old trailer, though. But hey,
Yeah, they do. They do. So this article is a bit out of date, but FedEx gets the first of 500 electric trucks from GM's EV unit, a major advance, for green logistics. So that's great that they're actually getting them. It's a small start, but it's a start.
Yes. I haven't seen them on the roads. They're supposed to be in LA, but I'm not in LA, so that's probably why. So
no, I can see your background. It looks like you're in your office there.
I said I'm not in LA.
Right, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, verification. No palm trees. Maybe I'll put some palm trees behind me for next week.
Do that. Oh, yeah. I had a funny joke I was going to do, but I'm not going to say it because I might still do it. So.
Okay.
Anybody else got any big trucks coming up?
Mack truck.
Mack.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a surprise seeing this guy. in the wild, I don't know who found this, but it was posted on Reddit, and it's a Mack truck,
And
absolutely
do you
plugged in.
do you see the problem with this?
No, I see no problem with parking sideways across 3 stalls.
It's got to be
Or
more than
4.
3. We can see 3. What a MF! I mean, come on. The first thing I saw was like, oh, he's plugged in. Look at that! How did he park like that? Oh my God! No parking except $150 fine.
So are these real? It looks like they are.
Looks like
According
they
to
are, yeah.
Mack's own website. Yeah. They've introduced them. You can order them. Batteries 376 kilowatt hours, which is, as you pointed out, not that big. Not that big.
For something like that, it's 3.5 times
Model Ys.
3.5 times a Model S at 100 kilowatts, or a Lucid, probably 3 times a Lucid battery. And what's the cost on this monster?
Oh, this article didn't say, so we went and found another one, and it's a little steep there with a price tag of $500,000. No typo. It's priced nearly twice as much as its diesel-powered sister.
Wow, that is a lot of money. Does it come with a kitchen or something? I mean, that's
No, but as the article points out, you could save 40 grand, per vehicle.
Over what period of time? Oh, annually.
A year. Yeah, but actually it says they spend $40,000 on gas. They'd still spend something on electricity, but even if it's half that, $20,000 savings, 10 years.
It would probably
doesn't quite make up for it.
It would probably be more like 75% would be my guess, as far as the savings of electric and gas.
But a long time.
That is a long time.
8.5 years.
Yeah, well, you got to factor in maintenance also, and
That's true.
There is a lot of maintenance on a vehicle like that. Diesel-powered vehicles have a lot more maintenance than a gas-powered. There's absolutely no question about it. They have a lot more emissions that break also. You ask anybody who's ever owned a Ford 6.0, anybody who's owned one knows what they are, and they know that when you buy one, you've actually just invested $5,000 into the engine up front, because that's that's the typical amount of breakage with those engines, and it's a diesel. But all of them have there's more filters. There's a lot more emissions on a diesel truck, and they break. So
I tell you, man, I am excited about the idea of electric garbage trucks, because garbage trucks, first of all, they come at the crack of dawn, and they're just universally loud.
They are very loud, and they're usually pretty stinky.
I live in a cold place. It's not as bad.
Okay.
We don't have hot garbage.
Well, they're stinky because of the trash and because of the diesel.
I understand now.
Yeah, for both reasons.
Yeah. And that's all we have for big trucks this week.
Yeah, sorry again.
Might as well
sorry,
wind
JJ.
it down now, huh?
All right. I know JJ's been dying for this. So, Mark Russell is getting interviewed at the what the hell was it called? Move convention or something, or in London, and this is what he had to say. I'm going to play it on my end. You play it on yours.
Great, thanks very much. So major startup OEM like Nikola is a very investment-hungry business. Can you give us a sense of where you are in your investment cycle?
Well, we had huge interest from the beginning. We opened a reservation book where no deposits, just give us a reservation, indicate your interest. We ended up with over 14,000 reservations for the hydrogen fuel cell truck several years ago, and that has been, everybody there is still there.
Did you finish your clip? No? Hello? Apparently Brian wasn't ready.
Oh, did you need me to start talking again? I turned it down to prevent echo.
Oh.
That turned you down as well. We needed hand signals.
Oh. I got a gang sign we'll work on. So Mark Russell pretty much said, and I've never heard him say this before, but there was 14,000 reservations, and I understand this is a no money reservation. But he also stated that these reservations are still there, that they still exist. They took those reservations and they took one of them, Anheuser-Busch, and they converted that into a launch order of 800 of these FCEVs. So just to give you an idea, one of these 14,000 orders was for 800. So there's probably some very large orders in there. It's probably not 13,200 individuals ordering these trucks. These are some large companies, and we've seen quite a few companies lately showing these vehicles off. And I will say it was no money down. So yes, this is just like me saying, Brian, I promise I'm going to buy something from you in a couple of years. In that sense, it doesn't mean much, but 14,000 possible orders already in the pipeline. And we've seen Walmart lately. We've seen, as of the other day, I've got it somewhere, IKEA. Here we go. IKEA is now testing out the Nikola tray. And this is not even the FCEV. This is the battery electric that IKEA has been trying out. Walmart was trying out both versions of the truck. And maybe IKEA will be looking at the fuel cell also. But 14,000...
But does IKEA do much shipping? I don't know if transit's part of their business.
Yeah, well, they don't actually make those little crappy pieces of furniture in-house. So don't they get shipped over all the way from that...
The woods?
The woods. the corrugated forest or something?
So the thing about 14,000 no commitment reservations, it's more of a waiting list. And if the specs are there and the price is there, you're going to take delivery. Or, because what are we at, 350-ish on the price now?
Yes.
Or you could spend another 150 and get a Mac.
Yeah. So I made some reasonable deductions. Why is Nikola pushing so hard to expand their factory? Where they've got it now, they could finish their existing production line plans, and they can get out a decent amount of trucks per day. So why are they pushing so hard to add in another 300,000 or 400,000 square feet? Well, the reason is because they have 14,000 reservations for the FCEV, and if they do not expand their factory, they will not be able to get these 14,000 trucks produced for 10 years. So they can't go along, because right now their production capacity, if they did not have a supply issue, is 2,000 to 2,500 in their existing setup. It would take them another 7 years to produce just their reservations that they have just for the FCEV, which will run on the same production line as the BEV. So if you have any BEV orders, so you need to expand the factory, and that's why their capex is needed to expand that factory right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
And
lot,
I
right?
think over time they're going to bring more and more of the parts in-house, which
Mhm.
also takes space. Yeah.
Did
The
you ever
roadmap
get a
is-
look? Did you ever get a look at their roadmap of their production line? I had it in one of the videos.
blueprints.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
just the floor plans, but the actual how the production line is going to go up and down, and this they're going to do the cabs over here, the
I
chassis
don't
over
know.
here.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, they had three.
But I know a channel on YouTube that's pretty good about Nikola coverage.
Yeah, you should subscribe to them and let me know what it is. So on the factory tour video that we did, those pictures are in there, and you can actually see how the production line is going to progress from, we can do this many jobs per day, this is our capacity at this setup, this is our capacity at the next setup, and then the last phase, this is where our capacity will be. And it's amazing how the production line just gets longer and longer, so that each stop is shorter and shorter, so that they keep moving down the line quicker. And That's why they need. That's why they need to keep building.
JJ gave me a super chat, said, to put this into perspective, imagine how bonkers I would be and how many videos I would make if Tesla Semi was spotted at all these places. Tesla Semi is spotted at places. It's been spotted at Frito-Lay for sure. And I've made 0 videos.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, and there's, I have a source at Giga Nevada who I would need to, he's here sometimes, but I would need to talk to him before I could actually say anything. So I know it's not just a rumor or someone yanking my chain. But no, Tesla Semi development is still moving along, and I've made 0 videos because I don't see the importance in the topic just yet. I don't think it's at a point where it matters a whole lot to consumers or investors yet.
Yeah. You know what? And JJ's not going to want to hear this, but I'm all for the Tesla Semi. I want it to come out. There can't be one manufacturer. There's going to be multiple ones, and I'm all for competition. I do have my serious questions about how they are going to keep the Tesla Semi at the price that they've announced it at. I see that to be very difficult. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's not that much more than a Plaid.
Isn't it like 150?
It starts at 150, and then the next one up is 180.
Right, and the Plaid X is at 140.
Yeah.
Come on, well. In fairness, those numbers might have made sense 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When they announced the damn thing.
Yeah. So I think if anyone has reservations for them, they'll honor those prices. But I think going forward, they're going to have to be like, well, this is our new price. Sorry. Kind of like the Model 3, and the Y, and the S, and the X.
This is the Tesla Semi Plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has premium sound, and it's 30,000 more.
They're going to put some upgrades into it and just say, all right, yeah, look at that. You're getting more. So.
Digital Way Canada says 4680 needs to scale before we see Tesla Semi. Yes.
Yeah.
All the batteries need to scale before we can start, because each one of these is basically a megapack.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cells.
Yeah, they are large. I want to thank JJ for the super chat. He said regarding Mark Russell, he also mentioned about funding secured but stopped himself. I'll have to rewatch it and listen for that. Russell the Muscle is known for spilling secrets. Am I right, Bear? JJ's convinced that Mark Russell gave me some secrets when we met. So, he didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He told me how he likes his coffee, and that was it. I thought that was unusual.
I do want to thank JJ for so much support over so much time. He gives us grief. He gives me grief, but with love. And if you don't push people to look at topics in a different way, sometimes they won't. And sometimes they still won't, but I'm listening. So guys, we've still got 11 minutes left. We've only got one more article to cover. So if you got questions we need to discuss, let's get them in them chats so we can pick and choose the ones we like the best.
Yeah, I've been ignoring my chat mostly because we like to talk about it at the end now instead of interrupting each other. Going back a little bit, 4Q says he likes the battery swap idea. If you get a bad one, just turn around and swap for another. I don't like that idea. I don't want a bad one. So
the only way battery swaps will work is if everybody does battery swaps all the time, and the battery is not something you own, but something you lease, basically. Maybe they would have a more effective method of charging you per mile.
Yeah.
For the wear on the battery.
I believe it's a subscription that you pay.
It would absolutely have to be, or it won't make sense.
Yeah. Brian Borkowski, not Brian on my screen, says that he drove 3 hours to Alabama to look at an EV6 and Ioniq 5. They wanted $15,000 and $8,800 respectively over sticker price. My Hyundai that I'm getting, I am getting shipped from California. If you search long enough, you can find the dealers that aren't D-bags. So that's what you have to do. I found a dealer in Colorado for the EV6, but they'll take an order for an EV6, and you're waiting 6 to 8 months for that for the EV6. So I don't want to blow next week's surprise car buy, but I'm probably going to place an order for that. But I'm going to keep looking for that dealer that might just have something on incoming, and for the EV6, because I do like those cars. I drove one, and then I got hit with the $10,000 markup, and got into a little fisticuffs with them. And obviously, I have no EV6
because he came in second in the battle.
Yes, I lost.
David Huber says prices will definitely need to go up. I believe that means on the Semi. And MD Hofsty says, I wonder if the new megapack factory will get the timeline down for the Semi factory, I assume you mean, or do you just mean for batteries? I don't think so. I think it's going to be an entirely separate thing. And I know I have it on good authority that they are currently producing battery packs for the Semi at Giga Nevada from my source, who I hope to get more concrete information from, so it's not just rumor.
If they are producing these battery packs, why aren't they just putting them into a Semi and shipping them out? Because that's the holdup.
Right. I don't know.
In regards to going back a little bit, since I'm going through the chat, in regards to the Tesla customer satisfaction, JJ, of course, says Elon could slap the Tesla owners and they would rate it 10 out of 10.
But they're not rated 10 out of 10. They're rated 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, I think he means 5 out of 5, but he's just going
But
a
they're
little
rated
bit higher.
4.5 out of 5.
True. All right, well, I'm just saying. Just relaying JJ's joke. Don't analyze it.
I know. So Jeff Songster is near Mount Shasta on their way to Portland using FSD beta. I think that means they might be watching me in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. What's the weirdest place you've ever watched us at?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what is the weirdest place you've ever watched either of these channels? I would love to know the answer to that.
We're going to get a lot of toilets.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of toilets.
Yeah, we're going to get more.
I don't do YouTube in the restroom. But it's probably the only app I don't open.
I do use YouTube in the bathroom, and I listen to that pregnancy. What's that thing called when the people are pregnant and it starts with an M? Where they help you with your breathing and stuff.
Oh, Lamaze.
Okay, it doesn't start with an M. It has an M. Yeah, I listen to Lamaze sometimes when I'm in the bathroom on YouTube. It helps. You should try it if you have issues.
Well, I was telling my wife, she was having some trouble. You know, when you got a shy bladder, you like run the sink or like listen to the ocean waves. She was constipated, and I said, just put on a video with hours of that sound to motivate your bowels. And she thought that was perhaps the most disgusting thing I'd ever suggested. I think it would work. At the very least, it would be hilarious. So,
yeah,
just an idea.
Hey, what was your joke?
Ideas.
You had a joke. You said you had a joke earlier.
I did.
Yeah, you did, but you said you were thinking about saving it, so you're not going to say.
Oh
it?
yeah, that wasn't it.
Well, thank goodness.
Very good.
Sarah Benoit says thoughts on Fisker.
I think they're doomed. I think Henrik Fisker is not a serious businessman. He has vision and terrible execution.
So you're saying I shouldn't put a reservation in for any of those cars?
If it was over $250, I wouldn't do it. JJ had a good question for you on your channel. Have you considered being interviewed by recent Nikola believers, Paul's channel?
I have not spoken to him. Isn't his channel rather new?
I have no idea.
JJ? Because I've seen that just pop up recently, just like all over the place. So, And that was actually my next comment. So you're jumping through my comments. What do you got? You got any comments? Besides people throwing money at you?
JJ has given me 5 and 2, in addition to Casey, who gave me a super chat before we started. Thank you guys all so much. Hiking Lang says, semi-battery packs are probably in development, not production, because Nevada is not where the trucks will be produced. I don't think we know for sure where the trucks, at least the early ones, will be produced. They'll be produced in such small numbers that it kind of doesn't matter where they make them. Just need some floor space.
The last thing I heard was that they were doing a test production line in Nevada, but they will be produced in Texas.
That is what I've heard as well. And we have seen them testing them in Nevada. We've seen footage of them out being tested in Nevada.
With the megachargers.
I didn't make a video about it.
Okay. So now we've got things coming in here. I once brought fast charging, a jackass, and a honeycomb into a brothel. As far as places to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because if you're paying by the hour, you might as well make her watch the podcast.
You pay by the hour, but you only need 2 minutes.
Right? I gotta pad out my time so it's not too embarrassing.
Let's see. Fisker doesn't make a car, but they ordered to build, which will cost them lots.
Oh, so you mean?
I'm just reading.
He's saying that they're assemblers. When they made the Fisker Karma, they didn't even have their own stamping equipment. They ordered all the pieces and assembled it, which led to terrific problems with fitment. Just brutal. Like buyers would get it, take it to a shop to get it corrected, and the shops would really struggle to make these pieces fit.
Yeah.
I saw a great review of that car. It was hilarious.
Oh,
and
that doesn't sound
good.
good.
The reviewer trapped himself in the back seat. He's like, if I didn't have someone here with me, I would have a problem right now because I cannot get out.
How does that happen?
Not sure. Kid locks and an inability to climb into the front because of the giant, battery down the center axle well.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. That would be one way to go. Mm-hmm. Nigel says, hi guys, nice to see you live. Hello, Nigel. We are indeed live. Simulcasting on both channels, Bear's Workshop and My Tesla Live, the second My Tesla Weekend channel, My Tesla Weekend 2, if you will. Will you, though? Will you?
You better.
Subscribe to both. We both have very good content. One more than the other.
We'll let you guys decide on that.
Speak ill of myself.
I was telling Brian earlier that he could improve how he looks on camera by shutting off his lights.
Yeah, just bring them all the way down.
Yeah.
Because I don't usually turn on the big boy until just before we go. Has anyone speculated the difference in range between hauling light stuff, potato chips, versus a seriously heavy load? I assume someone has. It is not me. Most of the problem you're going to have is with wind resistance. Out of spec motoring just did a great range test of the Rivian, dry and loaded all the way up with water, and the range difference was only 10% difference. Because
what do you mean loaded up with water? Like bottles of water?
He put one of those portable cisterns you get.
Okay.
That you can fill at a local water filling station.
Yeah.
And it poked up maybe 5-6 inches over the height of the cab, which created a little bit of air drag. But he only lost about 10% range.
What's the weight?
It was whatever the capacity of the Rivian is.
Okay, so that's not a great comparison, because if the capacity in the bed is 2,000 pounds, that's different than towing a large amount, and we're talking about how much is the towing.
But on towing, you've got all the added drag, which semis wouldn't I mean, an empty trailer has the same drag as a full trailer.
It's the weight. The drag is something, but the weight is more.
Right. The rolling resistance increases.
Yeah. So I've asked that question about what's the difference. Well, first one of my questions for Nicola was, is the 350-mile range that you guys state, or if that's what it is that loaded or unloaded? Is that with carrying your 40 tons or your maximum payload? They said it's with maximum payload. My next question, of course, was, well, what's the range without it? And the guy I was asking was like, I don't know the answer to that. And I didn't go around asking everyone at Nicola, but that's something to be considered, because if you have to take a load 200 miles to a destination and it's a full load, okay, if you go to, let's say it's 175 miles each way, and the range on the vehicle is 350. So 175 fully loaded, you're going to get there, but then on the way back, your range is actually going to be better. Your kilowatt usage is going to be lower, so you would actually be able to make it back instead of getting to zero. Because your weight load, you've lost, let's call it 30,000 pounds. You drop off your load, 30,000 pounds, and you come back, and you're going to end up getting back there, and you're going to have 100 miles of range left. Right?
I don't know. So much of the Digital Blade Canada said, with towing, the Rivian lost 40% extra, someone reported a while back. I've seen a few different towing tests, and generally, yeah, you lose half your range. But that's because your aerodynamics are so terrible, or so different. The profile is so different between a car or truck with a trailer that's of a different profile. But you know what?
I disagree. It's the weight. I disagree. It's the weight.
Right. I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying I don't know.
See, look at
my hesitations.
Look at it like this. What if there was a tailwind? You had a good tailwind.
Yeah.
Are you gonna?
Well, but that would.
It's gonna help. It's gonna help, but
yes,
it's gonna take
dry or fully loaded.
Yeah.
It's the rolling resistance, and like Deeps keeps saying, there's regen braking. And if you're going downhill, you can end up... There's a mining operation somewhere that has these huge earth movers that are electric. And the mine's at the top of the hill, and the repository's at the bottom, and they never have to charge them, because they get more regen down with all that weight, and they can get back empty.
So,
anyway,
so they have a perpetual motion machine?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
We never got to our last topic, and we're over time.
Oh.
Toyota will recycle vehicle batteries with Tesla co-founders project. Redwood Materials is going to be working with Toyota to recycle batteries. Just that. I think we should take a minute to thank our generous patrons who keep both of our channels going so graciously, so politely, so accommodating.
So thank you for everyone for being here. Thank you to all of my Patreons, Brian's Patreons, all you guys who actually showed up. We appreciate it. It was a fabulous day here. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it went great. And the weather's finally cooperating here. Not so much there, but I don't live in the desert. So thanks, guys. Tune in every, Tuesday at 4 p.m. to catch these. My live streams are on Fridays at 7 p.m. Yours are?
I've got one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and they're at random times depending on when we get out to the site. But Monday and Wednesday, tomorrow we have a live stream of the Lucid site, and we're going to do our flyover, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about it with all of our Lucid viewers tomorrow.
All right. Well, thanks to Bear and to everybody for hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time and all that good stuff. Bear, thank you for the good chat, and I will talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.